Hey guys, Stephen here from Heresy Academy. In this video, I'm just sort of very similar to part 8 where I showed that cleanup script. Every now and then I'm just going to sort of clear a few quick things up. So just for now I'm just going to get rid of left piece, center piece, all the extra pieces I did in the last video, sort of get rid of them and the ledge, and then the left piece and right piece, just because they take a little bit more setting up. I'm not going to do that in this one. I'll say that for another video. So a couple of things I want to try and tackle in this then. If you die, do you want to lose some points? Do you want to keep your points? Do you want to lose some points? So very, very simple how you do this. We'll just save that. Want to go to, where's my project file there? I'm going to drag this back over here now. So I want to now open up my level manager script. I'm going to click enter, and of course I didn't open it before I started recording, so it may take a few seconds to load. What I'm basically going to do, if you remember the way we added our points with our score text, we're going to do something similar, but we're going to make like death points and make it a negative value. So when you die, you add your negative points to your score. So what do we get from our coins at the moment? I think, what do we get? Where is it? Coin script. So you get 15 points. So let's say you lose 5 points when you die or something. So the death points will be equal to -5, and then we'll add -5 to our points before we do our timer. So we'll die, disappear, -5 points, and then we'll respawn again. The coins won't respawn. That's just a penalty for dying. And then also set it up so if you drop off the map, you go out of bounds, you want to die, and reset. So we'll go to level manager, and just over here, so I'm going to make a couple of spaces just to make it very clear this is the start. So I'm just going to make a public integer, and I'm going to call these death points just to make it very simple. I'm not very imaginative when it comes to names. Sometimes it could be like I said, I'd usually just put DP or something for death points because I know what it is. But then if you look at death particles, DP, oh, it doesn't really work. So I normally sort of shorten things in a decent enough style. But I've not been doing it for tutorials so that you can look back at it and go, oh, that's death particles. I know that's particle system. Anyway, so public integer death points, and then go down to our respawn function, our respawn coroutine. And just before our timer, we want to add some points. The reason we're doing it just before the timer is just so it looks pretty instant. You're not waiting, and then you spawn, and then you lose points, sort of thing. So player sprite.enable is false, so making the sprite disappear. The physics and stuff like that still happen, but it's no problem. We'll fix that in another video because what we'll do is set up a camera so it follows, just to sort of show you different stuff. But anyway, so going down here, I'm just going to basically what's it called now? Add points into it. Not app. Add points, and then the points that we're going to add will be our death points. Very, very simple, and that's it really. Because what we're doing here, our death points here is public integer, so the value I'll set in the inspector may change mine later. I mean, you could go in the start function and just go death points equals 5 if you've decided that that will be 5. If you want to change it later on, I can change it in the inspector. So I'll just save that script. I mean, what you could do as well, if you set it to 5, then you're going to add 5. So if you are going to do a positive value, then inside add points, you just want to put a minus there, and it'll add minus whatever value we give it. So I'm going to use the negative value inside Unity. I'm going to drop in here now. And it loads. Okay. So on level manager, object, not on the project file, go to level manager there. The death points, let's say we set that to be -5. Now be careful, if you've put it to minus your add points, minus death points inside the script, when you're adding the points, and then you're putting them at -5 here, you are minusing -5, so you're adding 5. So make sure you don't mess that up anywhere. So we'll just do this quick. And what I'll do, it'll try and skip that coin and die, but I don't ever be able to. Because I want to show you as well that if you get less than 0, No, okay. I'm going to die. What you see as well, watch the player, watch the enemy. You get stuck. Okay, anyway, so now I'm, yeah, I just want to check something. If I die, I've just lost 10 points. Because it's collided twice. The reason for that is because there are a few changes you want to make to the player, because all you're doing is you're turning off the sprite. You're not, what's it called? You're not turning off your collider, you're not turning off your physics and stuff like that. So we'll do that afterwards as well. So I'm going to click play again, and can't remember what I'm going to play again now. Oh, I showed you. So collect them both. Well, I just lost. So I lost 5 points there. Lost another 5 points. See, yeah, he collided twice, so then I spawned twice. The reason for that, like I said, is yeah, it's because we're not turned off the physics or the collider, so you still exist. You just disappeared. But we'll fix that later on. What I'm going to do next is basically set up a boundary. So just create an empty game object. And I'll just call this game boundary. And I will be changing this a bit later on as I decide to, because we'll change how the game works and stuff a bit later on. So I added a box collider 2D. I'm using a box collider because it's quite simple to set up. And I'll turn off the canvas just for now. Just sort of see my box collider on the game boundary. So I want to just like make it bigger on my X. And then drop it down on the Y. So basically, if I drop down here, I don't really want to give him a chance at survival. You do have a double jump, so perhaps you can jump out beforehand. If not, you die. So that's where you want to sort of set it up. You know, if you drop it down to like this, you want to check that if you try jumping back up, you're not going to make it, because you don't want to kill them just before they've got a chance to survive. And then set this up to be a trigger. I think we do trigger, don't we? Yeah, I'm sure we do. Yeah, trigger. And then also just add the kill player script, because again, you're just going to kill the player. Now, like I said, we will change this later on, but like I said, I just want to show you the basic setup at the moment. And there will be some physics stuff I want to do in a later video. I'll just play this now. And what I'll do is I'll add the camera to the player just to show you this. So as you're moving along, you can sort of see it doesn't really work as we want it to. I'm not making it cross, am I? Actually, I don't know why. I'll just jump off the edge here, and we didn't die at all because I didn't set this big enough. Okay, so drag this out to be a bit more. Click on play. I will set up like a wall on the left hand side and stuff, or where you start, so you can't really walk out. But you know, you just drop down, you see yourself die, and of course the camera's not attached. Attach the camera to the player, go on the game screen, move along, and you fall. The reason you fall is because it's still attached to you, your physics still exists and stuff like that. But you do die, so if your camera's not attached to you like that, then that's great. What you can do is you basically just if you copy this component and then paste it as a new one. So the second one here, turn off the is trigger and literally just drop the Y a little bit. What you can do then, you drop, you're dead. You don't drop anymore. The physics works. So obviously, click play, it's gone. So then I'll just paste as a new component again, take off the trigger, and just drop it on the Y a tiny bit. Save that, and that solves your gravity problem for now. I mean, you could basically turn it off. You could turn off the gravity, say, right, I don't want any more gravity, then you got to turn it back on every time you spawn. You set yourself to be is kinematic, so you're not affected by physics, but then you have to turn it back off again when you spawn, stuff like that. So there are a few things that you could do, and you set it up as functions and say like you got to turn off your physics, turn off your sprite, turn off all that. You put it inside a function and you just call it like def function, and then when you die you just call the def function where it'll spawn your particle system, it turns you off everything, and then after that you wait that 1 second and then call a new function, and that can be your spawn function where you turn everything back on and you do your life particle system or something like that. Now I do want to consider putting in lives, so not everything is an instant death. So the kill player script will be modified a bit. I'll start using functions instead rather than like putting an entire script dedicated to just killing the player. Still call it kill player, and then just sort of change it around a bit afterwards and stuff like that. Kill player script level manager. Why does it not have a level manager? Does it still work without a level manager? That's a bit weird, that. Let's check what we'll need a level manager for. Alright, yeah, find objects of the type. So it finds it anyway, that's fine, yeah. But yeah, so that's it for this video then. So I've just shown you how to take away points when you die, and also how you'll die out of bounds if you fall off your map. If somehow you managed to glitch and you sort of flew up in the air, and then you start coming down here, you're just going to fall forever. So you can stretch out your boundary, or you can figure out why it glitched, and you're just like flown off. Or you can set up an entire like square up here as well, just sort of death. What's it called? Death boundary thingamajigs. But yeah, so like the video, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.